to see how panned we got, if at all. Hello, welcome back to Innsbruck. My apologies, we had to cut our live stream. By the time we managed to refire it back up, we just missed the first men's race. We'll just confirm the times for you in a second. This is Youth A speed. There are 20 climbers in the men and 20 climbers in the women in the Youth A. So we've been seeing 6 climbers at a time in juniors and Youth B, 20 in the Youth A. I'll explain more in just a second. Sungmin on the right, on the left of Korea, Georgy Morozov of Russia on the right. 7.18 to 8.82.
So 20 athletes are represented here in the Youth A. There are 13 spots available for the Buenos Aires Youth Olympic Games next year. It's not to say that it's guaranteed that the top 13 will go through to Buenos Aires. A number of reasons why that can't happen, but it gives you a good indicator. In theory, they will be able to go the top 13 here.
So Louis Gundolf of Austria on the left, taking on Mikel Asia of Spain on the right. It's a clean run for both so far, but especially fast in the right hand lane, 8.66. 11.01 for Louis Gundolf.
Just have another look at that run. Good climbing from both sides, good clean run.
So, just tuning in, this is Youth B speed, Youth A speed. This was brought forward from tomorrow due to concerns about the weather. So this should have been taking place tomorrow. 20 athletes in the men and 20 athletes in the women. Every climber gets a run in the left-hand lane and a run in the right-hand lane, and their ranking from the speed competition will be down to the fastest time of those 2 runs. 9.16, 10.25 for Mizuki Tajima. Let's have another look at the top out. So we're not messing around here. Galo Hernandez of Ecuador, you just see him getting ready to go there. Shuta Tanaka of Japan. Right hand side as we look at the wall.
Hernandez on the left gets a good start then from Ecuador, really fast up the wall, right foot just slips, but it looks like he must have this one in the bag, buying another slip. 8.77, good run from him. 10.58 on the right hand side there from Shuta Tanaka. Couple of wheel spins at the bottom for him.
Interesting climber out next, Yufei Pan of China. Right hand lane. Taking on David Picolraz of Italy. As I say, every climber will run twice, once in the left-hand lane, once in the right, and their ranking out of 20 will be determined by their fastest time. So we've got 20 climbers in Youth A, and all 20 will do the speed, all 20 will do the bouldering, and all 20 will do the lead, and they'll be ranked, as we've seen in the earlier Olympic formats, 1 to 20. David Picolraz on the left. Yu Fei Pan on the right. Both away cleanly. Remember, no second chances for false starts these days. Yu Fei Pan on the right, 7.94. 10.10. Just ignore that there, that's not Di Jung. That is Yu Fei Pan.
Second climber to get in the 7-second mark. Yu Fei Pan, 7.94. Good speed. Remember, 5.48, sorry Charlie, 5.48, current world record. Don't think we'll be seeing anybody challenging that.
Still very fast, under 8 seconds, still fast. This is Di Chong Huang. He's taking on Nathan Martin of France. And he is flying. Nathan Martin, we saw him climb superbly in the lead. 7.74.
10.01 for Nathan Martin as well. Good burn for him. Stays above 10 seconds, but it was Di Chong Huang who had a perfect run. Absolutely flying there.
Sam Havasu will be out next once again. France in the right-hand lane. You can just see him there checking his start holes. Christian Dorigatti of Italy will be closest to the camera.
Dorigatti on the left then, and Havasu on the right. Both climbers neck and neck off the ground, but it's Dorigatti who gets a better start on the left. He's flying. This is looking like a really good speed run for him. That is someone who is very, very familiar with the speed route. 7.11 against Havasu, which was 8.62. Superb run from Dorigatti from Italy on the left-hand side. 7.11, quickest time to date.
Yeah, climbers now getting close to 6 seconds. Extraordinary.
With a bigger quota of climbers going through, we're starting to see a bit more of a mixed bag in terms of the specialists in each discipline. Lead, speed and boulder. Remember, this is the overall ranking that gets you through into the top 20.
So it's Nikolai Uznek and Keita Dohi, two familiar names if you've been watching us all week. And Keita Dohi absolutely rocketing on this speed route, really nicely scurrying. He won't go under 7, but he'll go under 9. 8.43. We were seeing climbers getting close to going under 7.
Just have another look at that run by Dohi there. Really seemed to hit the feet really cleanly. Pretty fascinating. If you've ever had a chance to have a look at the speed route, have a watch when they're climbing. They don't look at the feet at all. They have one glance down at their optional starting left foot, which will be one of the two that you see around head height on the left-hand side. They take one glance at it. That's the last time they will look at a foothold until they're back at the floor, looking at the floor.
So Petr Ivanov of Bulgaria, Filip Schenk of Italy on the right. If you're just joining us, Charlie Roscoe and Mike Langley here, watching the Youth A speed climbing, 20 climbers in the men, 20 in the women. Petr Ivanov on the left. Right now, Filip Schenk on the right, and Ivanov got a really good start and is only extending that lead as time goes by. Big slip from Schenk, cost him again 8.18 for Ivanov.
Really quick hands there from Ivanov. When we get to see a replay, you can see the speed that his hands are moving. Seems to be quicker through the hands than the feet for him. It's really like pounds, 1, 2, 1, 2, as he went up.
9.92 for Schenk. Just to confirm earlier on, we did miss our first race because we had to restart our live stream for YouTube reasons. Just to confirm, Petr Kuric scored a time of 10.54, Pietro Biagini 8.63 in the race that we just missed. And once again, Italian athlete is out, Pietro Biagini. He's on his second run along with Petr Kuric. So Kuric needs to beat his time of 10.54, 8.63 for Biagini.
It's your fastest score of the two runs that gets you through, and it's Biagini who's got a really good pace on here, but it misses that next hold. It gives Kuric an opportunity to catch up. 9.30 for Pietro Biagini, 9.94 on the right-hand side. Remember, it's the time that counts in this stage of the competition. Fastest time of your 2 runs determines your overall ranking in the speed.
So for the second time, Georgy Morozov is out. Last time he clocked 7.18. Can anybody dip under 7? As I say, on the left there, Georgy Morozov of Russia. He is taking on Song-Min of Korea. But it's not Petr Kuric, it is Georgy Morozov, and he does. He goes under 7, 6.92.
Takes a professional lead with that time.
If you're wondering why we've had 6 climbers competing in Youth B and Junior and 20 in the Youth A, the reason is qualifying for selection for next year's Youth Olympic Games will take place in Buenos Aires. 13 athletes qualify for selection to the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires 2018. However, there's a maximum quota of 2 men and 2 women from the same country. So it's not quite as simple as saying the top 13 go through, but we are looking for 13 athletes in the men and 13 in the women. So that's why there's so many in this age category. Mikel Molina on the left there, Louis Gondolf of Austria on the right. 8.39 to 11.04. Have another look at what just under 3 seconds looks like on a speed wall. Mizuki Tajima on the left now, once again taking on Kiat Mark Chan Chong of Singapore. Mizuki Tajima earlier on clocked 10.25. His Singaporean rival clocked 9.16 and could have gone quicker, but ended up with 9.93, 9.57 for Mizuki. Another Japanese climber out into the left-hand lane now, Shooter Tanaka. He was 10.58 last time. He takes on Galo Hernandez. The last time was 8.77, so we'd expect the Ecuadorian on the right to be faster here. Remember, unlike most speed climbing finals where you're racing the person next to you, this time you are racing the clock. You get 1 run in the left-hand lane, 1 run in the right, and it's the fastest time that counts for your ranking. False start there. Was the Ecuadorian false starting.
Be interesting to have another look at that. You couldn't see that with the naked eye at all. So the electronic pad goes off.
Shooter Tanaka will get a run. The clock will reset. He'll get another run. Let's have a look.
Have a look what went wrong there. Could be the slightest twitch on the right hand side. Can't really see it. We don't have time to see it, unfortunately, because I was going to say the run on the left has to start. Just
seeing Shooter Tanaka seems to be getting unclipped, and he also false started on his own. He appears to have done so. So Yufei Pan of China on the left now, taking on David Pacol-Ruaz of Italy. Pacol-Ruaz last time 10.10, 7.94 for Yufei Pan in their previous runs. Quick start from Yufei Pan, would expect nothing else. Absolutely flying up this route. Can he beat his previous time? A couple of stumbles mean you won't beat it. 8.78.
It's 8.25 on the right hand side for Pacol-Ruaz.
Yeah.
Look, he just had Yufei Pan just seemed to stall out in the middle a little bit. Something went wrong. It was there where he went for the hand to foot match on that right hand side.
Almost a 2-second improvement from David Pacol-Ruaz there.
Yeah, that really gave caller as the emphasis to push on, push harder. See, it's your best time that makes the difference here, not necessarily who you beat on either side of you.
Nathan Martin of France closest to the camera there. Dichong Huang of China on the right hand side. Chong last time 7.74, 10.01 for Nathan Martin, who'll be looking to go under 10. What can we see in the right hand lane? Dichong Huang, how low can he go? 8.22, doesn't manage to beat his previous best. 9.53, Nathan Martin does though. You can see the clouds gathering here in Innsbruck, but to be honest, they have been doing since lunchtime. It doesn't look any more threatening than it did 5 hours ago, so long may it stay dry. This round, the Youth A speed climbing, brought forward from tomorrow due to concerns about the weather. There it is. Brings it home in 8.22. Not as fast as his first run though, that was 7.74. This time it's Sam Avazu on the left. 8.62 for him last time. Christian Dorigati was 7.11 last time, and absolutely hurtling up the speed route, looking to beat 7.11, looking to pierce 7 seconds, and didn't manage to correctly press the finish pad. Of course, it's not a case of just getting there, you have to apply sufficient pressure in the correct spot. He didn't manage that. Let's have a look at the top out. How much did he miss the finishing pad by?
Dorigati was absolutely flying there, seemed to smash his hand into the wall slightly in front of the pad, just fumbled it.
Keita Dohi on the left now, Nikolai Uznik on the right. Second to last run in this Youth A speed climbing for the men. Of course, the women will follow.
Dohi on the left then, Uznik on the right. Just set the starting pad. Each climber has their own preferred foot position.
As we've just had illustrated, the time you record is from when you leave the starting pad to when you apply sufficient pressure in the correct part of the finish pad. It's all done electronically. It is reliant on you, however, pressing the correct part of the finishing pad. Christian Dorigati didn't manage that last time, but with a 7.11 in his first run, he'll be still sitting pretty in the speed climbing.
You can see the judges just moving in there. Some slight issues with the right hand starting pad. The sensor's just not quite going off. You can see in the middle of the wall here, there's a bit of a dot on the electronic system. That needs to set before the starter can start the race.
Christophe Bion, our technical delegate here in Innsbruck, just double checking the pad. These issues with that right hand pad have dogged us all the way through this Innsbruck competition. Told it wasn't possible to source a replacement.
So sensitive, these pads here, and they have to be fractions of a millisecond that distinguish whether you move off the pad on time or false start or not.
Again, Christophe Bion having to come out and make some adjustments to the pad.
Climbers just trying to stay warm then between the goes. Looks like they're enjoying themselves though. Taking it all in their stride.
As I say, it was worries about the weather that caused this to be brought forward from tomorrow, but I've been looking nervously at the clouds now for about 5 hours, and there's no sign of that bad weather arriving. It just goes to show that you can have all the best weather forecasts in the world. Often the best measure of whether it's raining or about to is actually just go and stand outside and see if you're getting wet. And we aren't as it stands. As I say, long may it last. Not much of the venue is waterproofed here in Innsbruck, so it'll be umbrellas all round if it does start to rain. Keita Dohi on the left, Nikolai Uznik on the right. Nikolai just grimacing before he sets off, and they're being told, I think, to come down from the venue MC. I'm sure I heard him shouting climbers, climbers. Mind you, 8.33 and 10.81. And doesn't seem to have been any problems. I'm absolutely certain the venue MC then was shouting climbers, climbers. I think he thought there might have been a problem. There wasn't at all though. 8.33 on the left for Keita Dohi and 10.81 on the right for Nikolai Uznak. So Philip Schenk now closest to the camera. 9.92 for him last time out, and Petr Ivanov 8.18 last time out. So this was two fast climbers. Petr looking to go under 8 seconds. Philip ideally pushing it a bit closer to 9. And a relatively sluggish start from both. Petr Ivanov, as you'd expect, pulling away, but you're not racing the man next to you, you're racing the clock, and he gets to 8.25, so slightly slower. 9.65 from Philip Schenk is slightly faster.
Let's have a quick another look then. Bulgarian, really good run. Ivanov on the right hand side. Definitely one of the favourites going into this competition, because time of 8.25 it was.
Yeah, 8.18 in his first run, so he doesn't improve on that. It's only 700 slower. Your ranking will be determined by your fastest of the 2 runs.
Just see in the background there in the isolation zone, the female Youth A athletes. 20 of them filter into that isolation zone as we move from the men into the women. A new round of speed climbing will commence very shortly. We just need enough time for them get themselves ready. Not that easy getting that number of climbers ready to go. Get them all ordered. Hopefully they've had an opportunity to look at the start list properly. Get themselves lined up. Work out who they're racing against, who's in front of them, who's behind them.
So now we start from scratch with 20 women's races. If you're just joining us, Charlie Bosco and Mike Langley here in Innsbruck. This is the Youth A Speed. 20 climbers in the men, 20 climbers in the women. We've already seen a complete Olympic competition in the Youth B between 6 athletes, and we've already seen the speed climbing for the juniors, again 6 athletes.
Interesting, just looking around the arena whilst we wait for the women's A speed to start. Both teams of route setters on the lead and the boulder frantically working away to try and get things ready in time for the boulder competition. Quite a lot of tweaking going on the boulders. See, they had a tough round of bouldering earlier. Too easy, really. Could argue in both categories. Men's, especially Youth B boys.
Yeah,
quite easy.
Yeah, Youth B men, every climber topped every boulder. It came down to attempts, and we still had some tied scores. So the route setters with some calculations to make. But as we've mentioned, we saw the Youth B climbers in action earlier today. That's the youngest age category, 2002-2003 birth year. But the climbers we'll see this evening are juniors born in 98 or 99. So how much they can draw from that experience earlier on with the Youth B, hard to say. So Arabella Jariel of the USA is closest to the camera now. We're about to get underway in the women's. Hannah Mühl of Germany on the right hand side. Clean start from both women, and both keeping up a pretty similar pace, different styles. But Arabella, I think, is going to take this one. She does in 10.32, and Hannah Mühl clocks 11.31. Remember, unlike in the speed climbing final that we normally see in the IFSC World Cups, you're not racing the person next to you, you're racing the clock. You get 1 run in the left-hand lane, 1 run in the right-hand lane. It's the fastest time that sees you ranked. Vita Lukan of Slovenia is out. Laura Lammer of Austria on the right-hand side. Vita looking up and down, trying to memorize the position of that left-hand foothold. Laura Lammer is going to clock the better time of the 2 here. Let's confirm exactly what it is. She comes in at 10.61.
Yeah, great run from the Austrian there on the right hand side. Laura Lammer is 15.12 on the left by Vita Lukan. Austrian had really good form all the way through that race. Hit the hold exactly how she wanted, 10.61, not bad time at all.
Luka Rakovic on the left again of Slovenia, Aleksandra Kaluchka of Poland on the right.
Just having another look back at that previous race. On the right hand side you can see Laura Lammer really finding some sweet spots on all of those footholds, all of the handholds.
Luka Rakovic of Slovenia on the left, Aleksandra Kaluchka of Poland on the right. Staring intently, we've got a false start, that's on the left Luka Rakovic. Alexandra Kaluchka will of course be able to run with no one next to her to record her first time.
Looks like she's not too impressed with that call of a false start. To check in to see exactly what happened there. Sort of refusing to unclip at the moment. Looks like it could be an appeal on that one. Maybe we'll get a chance to have a look back at a replay of that start. Making the guys in the booth work really hard. See the jackets being brought out there. Try and keep the athletes warm. It is getting quite chilly here. I'm sure they'll be checking the video evidence. One of the IFSC officials brings out the jacket then. Here we go, this is another look. See a twitch on the left. Hard to know without the clock, but I think there was a slight twitch. You can see it there in the back leg. I couldn't call that from the naked eye. So close, that's the margins we're talking about then in the speed competition. By the eye you really can't tell. Thanks to the guys in the booth for getting that replay together for us. Even with the slow motion we couldn't quite tell what went on there.
Yeah, the speed climbing competition paused here. Luka Rakovic clearly doesn't believe she false started. The replays seem fairly inconclusive.
At this stage, Charlie, you've covered a lot of these speed competitions. What can they do? I mean, they can look at the speed. They surely have to go with what the electronic system tells them.
You would have thought so, but there's obviously scope for an appeal. We have had issues with timing pads. It has actually been the right-hand lane that's been causing the problems. Both climbers struggling to keep warm, as Mike mentioned. The temperature plummeting here in Innsbruck. Conditions only improving. Judges being made to earn their money here tonight. The venue MC says, "What's happened?" He's down the front with the judges. If he doesn't know, no one does. Eddie, the IFSC photographer in the blue shorts, just walking past there. One of the few people left still braving shorts in the venue as the evening falls. Both climbers still clipped in. Still no verdict.
Would have imagined if they thought it was a quick problem to resolve, they would have left them clipped in, but it's taking a lot longer than they initially expected. It's quite rare to see them left standing out in the arena. IFSC official just dropping in there to see if the climbers are okay. Just dropping the shoes off.
Now, something being explained now to look at Rakovic.
Don't really want to see this in the speed competition. Like I said, normally they can deal with the technical problems very, very swiftly. It's obviously a technical appeal of sorts. We couldn't tell what went wrong. We even had a slow motion replay, so you can see straight across there where it says exit, that is where the officials are based. Looks like Eddie Felton, the IFSC photographer, is going to go over there and give him an earful. Sure he'll impart words of wisdom.
Still waiting here for a verdict. Let's see what the judges come up with. With a false start, it's normally pretty obvious. We have extremely advanced timing device. Dispatch Mike Langley to go and find out. Here we have electronic timing devices. That's the whole point of having them. With the naked eye, I have to say, it didn't look like a false start, but that's not really the point. The point is that we have this advanced system to detect false starts. So clearly an appeal, and as I say, we have had issues with the timing pads. Still we wait. Conferring going on amongst the judges. This is Youth A speed climbing in the Olympic combined format. Got 20 climbers in the men and 20 climbers in the women today for Youth A, just 6 in the juniors and the Youth B. The reason is that we need to select 13 athletes to qualify for selection to the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires 2018, and that's what this Youth A competition is being used for, to select those athletes. Has been accepted, albeit grudgingly, as a false start by Luka Rakovic. She makes her way off the stage. So, as we said at the time, Alexandra Kaluchka of Poland will run unopposed. She just has to clock a time, get 2 runs, 1 in the left lane and 1 in the right lane. It's the lowest time that counts. A big stumble from her. She had a long time to wait. Perhaps threw her off because she's got some good speed on the rest of the route. 11.84, I think with a clean run she'll be able to knock a good chunk of time off that, because there was a big stumble earlier on. As I say, perhaps it's just a shock of moving after standing still for so long. About a third of the way up the route, big stumble, we just saw it there. Really cost her a lot of time. Eva Maria Hammer-Muller on the left, Elena Krasovskaya on the right. Eva Maria Hammer-Muller, of course, climbing in front of our home crowd. Elena Krasovskaya of Russia, right hand side, immensely strong speed climbing country. Clean start from both athletes this time, no problems with this run. And I was just saying how strong Russia were in speed climbing, so it's proving here. Stops the clock in 9.42. 12.14 for Eva Maria.
And a new best time, Elena, with a 9.42. She's agreed after 4 heats. Sergina Schäuble is next on your right against Georgia Tizio, Italy. Let's get this point started once more.
Mike Langley back in the commentary box. We'll talk to him in just a second. Georgia Tessio out. Selina Schäuble of Austria also out on the right hand side, furthest from our camera in that view. Both had excellent performances in the league climbing. Watch out for them later on. Neither of them are speed climbing specialists, but Selina Schäuble pretty handy and going to clock a pretty decent time here. Stops the clock in 11.28. It's the 3rd fastest time we've seen from 5 athletes so far. 15.01 for Georgia.
Just as we have another look back at that run, just hot-footed back across the arena. It was the Slovenian climber Luka Rakovic who was unhappy with the call of a false start, so it went to the jury president to decide if it was an issue with the timing pad or was actually a false start, so they had to review the video replay. She was convinced it was an issue with the starting pad, and the false start was just so tight, whether it being a false start or not. They couldn't decide for a long time. They had to review a number of different angles. In the end, it was determined it was a false start. It was a real shame for her. Had to wait 5 or so minutes for that decision. Electronics was right in the end.
It generally is, I have to say. Yanni Zoraj now takes on Laura Rigora, and they just call back to reset themselves. Laura Rigora is having something explained to her. Seems to be fairly light-hearted, whatever it is.
I think she was just pumping the right foot on the mat a little bit. I think Just making the timing system kind of go a bit haywire.
Yeah, I know that's something a lot of people will be able to identify with. I know when I'm nervous I twitch, so if you're tapping away on that foot, the timing pad can't figure out whether you're actually standing on it or not, so she now stands still. Again, they're called down. Again, Laura not taking this one with quite such good nature. Again, that right-hand timing pad causing problems.
Just saying, yeah, Laura Gora is so tiny. You do wonder if that starting pad is because just so how small she is. They will go through the process of checking the right-hand pad again, checking the light system on the wall, the electronic system. It's been pretty good so far today, but causing issues all of a sudden here. Women's A speed final going quite slowly then at the moment. This is brought ahead of the competition from earlier. Laura Gora on the right then.
Yeah, Yanni Zorad gets a good start. Laura Gora holding her own though. Very huge difference in height and build. And on the left-hand lane, for Croatia, 12.36 to 13.34.
That's quite interesting on the right side of Laura Gora. They're obviously known for her immense endurance on the speed route, adopting a slightly different sequence that we've seen from some of the other athletes. Having to use a different method, slightly lower down from what we saw there. It was a good effort though, full stretch, big dyno at the top of the wall, 13.34, not shabby at all. Obviously been practicing her speed climbing.
Just waiting for the arrival now of Polina Aksenova of Russia.
It is Elena Krasovskaya, 9.42, who is top of the pile at the moment, the overall combined champion from the senior category last year at the Paris World Championships. So she is the world champion in the combined.
Sandra Lettner there on the right. Not quite sure what's happened to Polina Aksenova. We'll try to let you know. Her clock starts anyway. Sandra Lettner, 11.58 for her. So now, Irina Varick on the left of Russia. Luisa Emeleva on the right, also of Russia. Varick on the left, Emeleva on the right. Quick start from both climbers. But that scurrying fast style of Emeleva's was working, but a huge slip has cost her. She'll need to perform well on her second run. 10.67 on the left for Irina Varick. 11.89 for Luisa Emeleva. She will need a big performance, as I say, on that second run to make amends.
Familiar face there on the right, comes out to start her campaign in the overall Olympic format. Brooke Rabatou.
Valentina Aguado of Argentina, who we saw doing exceptionally well in the lead climbing in the IFSC Youth World Championships here in Innsbruck earlier this week. Both get away cleanly. Brooke, known primarily as a lead climber and a boulderer, but also you can see the amount of hours she's been putting into practicing the speed. She clocks a very respectable time of 11 flat. 14.36 for Aguado.
Good display of power there from Brooke Rabatou. Shima Shureshi comes out, another familiar face on the right hand side. Yingli Song representing China on the left hand side then. Shureshi leading the standings going into this competition, into the overall.
Yeah, Shima, who recently completed the triple-double, third Youth World Championships in a row, where she's won the gold in both the lead and the boulder. Quite extraordinary athlete.
DJ's got a bit of comedy on here. Return to sender every time the pad doesn't work. Sends them back to their mark.
Who said Germanic people and Austrians don't have a sense of humour? That's great stuff. Yiling Song of China now on the left, Ashima Shirashi on the right. You'd have to say Ashima will be the woman to beat in both the lead and the boulder. And again, like Brooke Rabbiton, you can see the work she's been doing on the speed. Not quite got that explosiveness yet, but got the sequence absolutely dialed and will clock a 12.54.
Not the fastest time, but getting a time on the board is critical. Not falling. Last thing you need is either a false start or no time recorded.
Also made a bit of a slip as well. As I say, Ashima not got that explosive power we see from specialist speed climbers, but if she can get her time creeping down into the 11s and potentially the 10s with her strength in the lead and boulder, she will be absolutely set, you would imagine. Hannah Moore back out, so this is now the second time we've seen all the athletes from here on out. This is Hannah Moore on the left, Arabella Jariel of the USA on the right. Jariel earlier was 10.32, 11.13 from Hannah Moore. Lost in concentration, she explodes into the first move, and it's a big slip from Arabella Jariel. She's back on the wall though. She'll struggle to beat 10.32 from here. She won't beat it in fact, and she bails on the run, but Hannah Moore 11.48. No time recorded in the second run for Arabella Jariel. Took a massive slip, got back on the wall, and then after another slip decided it probably wasn't worth continuing. So her original time at 10.32, which was pretty fast, she won't be able to improve on, but it'll still leave her in a good position. It's a good time. Vita Lucan now on the right. We saw her on the left earlier on. Laura Lammer of Austria on the left. There she is.
Ready?
And it was a quick start from Laura Lammer. Vita Lucan left behind slightly there. She is only racing the clock though, not the person next to her, but it's just as well for Vita Lucan because Laura Lammer's flown away, 10.03. Takes about half a second off her previous time. Vita Lucan takes about 8/10 away. Yeah, you see it again there. Laura Lammer looked very strong. Now, because of the false start, that's the end of Luka Rakovic's speed climbing. So once again, Alexandra Kaluchka gets to run unopposed, and this time she clocks a time of 9.2 flat. No second chances for false starts in speed climbing, remember, so if you do false start, that's you out of the speed climbing. And Luka Rakovic, although she wasn't happy about it and appealed the decision, she did false start in her first run. We also saw some false start in the men's, but critically it was in the climbers' second runs. So they at least got a time on the board. Elena Krasovskaya on the left now. Eva Maria Hannemann-Muller climbing in front of her home crowd, the Austrian, in the right-hand lane. Elena Krasovskaya flying up here and recording 9.19. 11.63 for Eva Maria Hannemann-Muller. That's an improvement for her of around half a second. Elena Krasovskaya, an improvement for her of around 2/10. So both climbers improving on their previous best time there. Selina Schäuble of Austria is on the left now. Georgia Tessio on the right. We saw them earlier. Georgia Tessio clocking a 15.01. Selina Schäuble 11.28. They go again. Schäuble this time on the left, Tessio on the right. Quick start from Schäuble. She should, massive mistakes aside, be comfortably the first to the top of the wall out of these two, and she takes it in 10.63. Let's see what Georgia Tessio can clock. 13.79, big improvement for her. Over a second off her best time earlier on.
With this new format, it is sometimes with these athletes, they've not been on an official speed wall that many times, so some of the lesser known speed climbers, they can find big jumps in their times at this stage in the competition, even though they're in the final.
When you try out a new sport, you know, you go through that period where you get this really satisfying period where you're making these massive gains. It's then the minutiae of knocking off tenths and hundredths of a second where it becomes tougher. But as climbing has been confirmed for the Olympics, and it will be 3 disciplines, lots of climbers now learning speed climbing for the first time, and as you say, Mike, getting massive gains in their times in a very short space of time. Laura Rigora now on the left, Jani Zoraj of Croatia on the right.
Height difference between these two climbers in the same age group is quite significant. Laura Rigora manages to stick in a 13.64 on the left hand side though.
So for Jani, that's 2.5 seconds slower than her first run. Laura Rigora actually just slower than her first run as well, 0.3 of a second slower. Polina Aksanova, we didn't see her run on her first run either. She didn't appear. We will try and find out before tomorrow what was the cause for that. But it means that once again Sandra Lettner gets an empty run. Last time she was 11.58. To me, she's looking quite a lot quicker this time. Big stumble there will have cost her. She ends up missing the timing pad. I think that would have only been marginally quicker than her previous time, perhaps a tenth or two. Big stumble cost her, and then she failed to record a time. So Sandra Lettner might have felt that she left a bit of time out on that speed wall. 11.58 from her first run will be her time that counts towards her ranking. Luisa Emeleva and Irina Varik out now of Russia. All Russian, so often the case in the speed wall, have had tremendous success down the years. 2 more promising athletes in the speed and in the all-round. It's a good start from both climbers. These are going to be fast times. Last time out, it was 11.89 for Emeleva and 10.67 for Varik. Emeleva goes much faster this time, 9.45, 11.96. Slightly slower for Varik. Eduardo Valentina will be climbing next. She was 14.63 last time. She'll be taking on Brooke Rabatou, who is 11 seconds flat. There's Brooke closest to the camera in the pink Team USA outfit.
Penultimate race here then in the Youth A speed.
Brooke Rabatou closest to the camera. Ready? Valentina Aguado on the right. You'd expect Brooke to be the comfortably the fastest of these 2 climbers. But it's all about the time. Brooke 11 seconds. Bit of a messy run this time. Might just beat her last time. Doesn't quite. 11.09. As I say, a couple of messy foot placements in the middle. Valentina Aguado though makes a big step up, 0.7 of a second up from her first run. Shima Shirashi, there she is, setting up, ready to go. This will be the last race of this round of speed climbing. Yiling Song on the right hand side there, she's of China. Ashima last time 12.54, 12.26 from Yiling Song, so they were pretty close together last time. Ready? Ashima, I think anything in the low 12s would be a pretty good result here. That was a very fast start, but perfectly legal from Yiling Song. and she's looking very, very fast indeed. 12.26 for her last time. She's going to do better than that. My, oh my, is she going to do better than that? 9.05 and 11.98 from Ashima Shireshi. And again, it didn't look like the cleanest run from her, but she goes under 12 seconds. Personally, I was thinking low 12s would be Ashima's goal, but even on a not especially tidy run, she goes under 12. Excellent run from her. Mike, thank you very much for your company for a marathon of speed climbing. Now we've got a very short break, and then we're back with the bouldering in the youth A, in the juniors, excuse me. We'll see you very shortly for that.
The next competition is bouldering at speed. We join the bouldering session of the